No more Groundhog Day. Sound good? Okay. You're going to want to watch this if you have been finding yourself experiencing a Groundhog Day over and over and over again. So I was scrolling online and I saw an ad, and I believe it was for adult ADHD. There were some things that struck me in what the person was saying. There was a gentleman that he was talking about making the same resolutions over the last number of years on New Year's Eve. If that sounds familiar for you, you're not alone, obviously. So what this person found is things were not changing for him, and was seeing people that were younger than him, and specifically people that he had helped, that were leapfrogging him, and it was confounding to him. The way he described it, people see him as successful, and yet he said, why can't I achieve anything when I'm smart enough to achieve everything? Boom. This reminded me of my high-performing conscious clients that have experienced something similar, that despite everything that they've tried, all the strategies, all the tactics, and despite the successes they've had, they were not making the next steps to that next level. And it was almost like something was blocking them. It was almost like there was some invisible force. But at this point in time, what was happening for them is they were feeling like they were living Groundhog Day, much like in the movie with Bill Murray, where he was reliving the same day over and over and over again. The frustrating thing about this for this man, and maybe for you as well, is that there was nothing they knew how to do. No tactic, no amount of hustling, no strategy wasn't moving the needle to take them to the next level. And the change that he wanted in his life and business, and the people that I've worked with before they came to me, things that they were trying to do to change things was not moving the needle, and it wasn't happening reliably for them. They'd have some fits and starts and some good things would happen, but ultimately major change was not happening for them in the way that they wanted. So before I go on, my name is Karen Lanoux from Live a No Limits Life, and I show people who are in this kind of position how to break through and access these levels of possibilities that have been elusive. So please comment, save, or follow me for more of this kind of content. So coming back to the story, it's another day, it's another week, it's another month, maybe even another year in some cases, and things aren't changing the way you'd like them to. Why is that? Well, in this ad, the man went on to describe a situation. Same feeling. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't stupid. I was blocked. Boom, another light bulb moment. That was the bottom line for him. He was blocked. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't stupid. He was blocked. Some invisible force seemed to keep him looping in the same place. It might have looked like imposter syndrome, procrastination, self-sabotage, but I have to tell you, those are symptoms. They're not the cause. They're not the reason. They're not the block. So you might be asking the question, blocked by what, Karen? Well, having done this work for the last 2 decades almost, what I found is that essentially you're running an old, outdated internal operating system, much like a computer. Different things are happening on the outside world. There's a different level of expectations, different information, and your internal operating system isn't keeping up. And so therefore, when you can feel that next level, it's because it is there. It's just that your internal operating system isn't allowing you to move forward and isn't allowing you to access it. Just like on your computer, it can't access and run the newest apps. And so we revert to hustling, working harder, longer, try new tactics, try new strategies. Been there, done that. Doesn't work. If you are who I think you are and you're still listening to this, it is because you have tried everything and you're smart, you're a problem solver, you know where to go for answers. It's still not happening for you, right? So this is where the shift codes that I developed come in. We have so many stories, beliefs, points of view that we're not even aware of that make forward movement impossible. And sometimes all it takes is a paradigm shift. That's it. Sometimes it's an energetic shift. Our old points of view and beliefs, like muscle memory, that energy gets stuck in our field. And like muscle memory, we operate automatically and unconsciously, or sometimes consciously, and we're aware of it, But what happens is that energy needs to be shifted. Sometimes all that's required is an identity shift where you say, I used to be this person. I am no longer that person. I am going to be this person. And that absolutely can happen. And sometimes people do this automatically. Most people don't know how to do it reliably. And then sometimes it's just that one of these needs to be shifted. And sometimes two of them or all three. But what I can tell you is it doesn't have to take forever to shift. It doesn't. You don't have to go through your past traumas. You don't have to go through therapy. And it's not that those things aren't useful, because they are. It's just not where I go with my work. I've found that for the most part, for most people, that isn't necessary. And that's the great news. And that's why when people work with me, the shifts happen fast. Change happens fast. And when that change internally, that internal operating system gets upgraded, because that's what happens when you go through any one of those shifts, your internal operating system gets upgraded and your outer world responds and reorganizes around you. And I am always absolutely thrilled every time I see it, because I never know how exactly it's going to happen, but it happens. And again, and if you've hustled and tried all the strategies, try to problem solve your way out of this, it's not about action at this point. When you update your internal operating system, what it does, it allows you to align it with your next actions. Because if you don't change the baseline from which you're operating from, Groundhog Day, over and over and over. I get it. I've been through exactly the same things, and I walk my talk. I walk myself through the same steps I walk my clients through. And if you are an ambitious person, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop. Really, it's new level, new devil. And so when you learn these tools, when you learn what the steps are, it starts to get easier and easier to shift and change and completely and continuing to update your internal operating system. So thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in the Reset offer or the one-on-one private mentorship, comment Reset down below and I will send you a PDF that has some information for you to review. Otherwise, share this, like this, and follow me for more of this kind of content where we can finally move you out of this space so you can start living the version of you, of your life, of your business that you truly deserve. All right, so go out, live a no limits life. Cheers.